Hanju helped Qinling refine 99 Emperor Essence pills, almost making him kneel down. He couldn't understand this alchemy technique. This was because the herbs he had prepared could only be refined 100 times. According to the 10% success rate, Liu Bei's alchemy technique was almost 100% successful. The only time he failed was when Hanju stopped in time. In the courtyard, Qinling began to massage Hanju's back and shoulders, trying his best to please him. "Brother, what do you want to eat and drink? Just tell me. You're my big brother from now on. Take 5 of these pills. You can't give me all of them. Are you really giving them to me? So you don't need it. All right." Qinling was overjoyed after accepting all the Emperor Essence pills. He had never been so happy in the past 100,000 years. His gaze softened as he looked at Hanju. He was his benefactor. "Brother, you've helped me so much. What do you need me to do?" Qinling asked. He would really feel uneasy if he did not repay him. Hanju smiled and said, "I want the most precious treasure in the world. Can you help me find it?" Qinling asked in surprise, "What is that?" "You will understand in the future." Qinling was deep in thought. Little did he know that Hanju was just patronizing him. Qinling thought that it was a Dharma treasure. Most of the treasures in the immortal world were Dharma treasures. Hanju left several days later. Qinling began to consume the Emperor Essence pills in seclusion. In the next few decades, Hanju traveled the immortal world and saw its current prosperity. The cultivation culture filled every corner of the world. Even mortal villages knew at least one cultivation method. If not for the chaotic heavenly road and the fact that all living beings did not explore the chaos, the immortal world would have long been saturated. It would be a disaster when resources and territory became limited and the number of cultivators continued to increase. Netherworld. Hanju came to Han Xinyuan's residence. Han Xinyuan had inherited his and Han Tuo's good looks. Wearing a white robe, she was the only one in the room as she silently and lonely meditated. Hanju calculated and discovered that Han Xinyuan had very little karma, even less than Han Yu. She had been alone for 1,000,000 years. It was even more so after entering the Netherworld. Although she held great power, she had been cultivating alone most of the time. This was the first time the two of them met. Although they were related by blood, Han Xinyuan didn't know of his existence at all. Han Tuo and Yang Tiandong didn't say anything either. After all, Hanju's status was too high. They didn't want to burden Han Xinyuan and cause great karma, which would also reduce trouble for Hanju. 10 years later, Hanju left quietly. Han Xinyuan opened her beautiful eyes and frowned. Hanju's Dao heart was calm again after the 100 years of travel ended. He came to the second Dao field. Li Yao and Dao Comprehension Sword opened their eyes. They hurriedly stood up and bowed upon seeing him appear. Hanju sat down and started to preach the Dao. His voice resounded throughout the second Dao field. 100 years later, the lecture ended. Hanju was about to leave. "Sister, go out for a while," Li Yao suddenly said. Dao Comprehension Sword was stunned for a moment before leaving obediently. Get latest Oval Chpters on NVE, LBJN. CM Li Yao pulled him back. Hanju remained silent and sat beside her. 20 years later, Hanju returned to the main Dao field and prepared to continue cultivating. Detected that the Great Dao Providence Divine Authority has been triggered. The Divine Authority Generals will monitor the entire chaos. You have the following choices. 1. Exit seclusion immediately and destroy the Great Dao Providence Divine Authority. You will obtain a Great Dao Fragment, a Creation Spirit Stone, a Heavenly Dao Spirit Stone, a supreme treasure, a mystical power inheritance, and a new function of the system. 2. Cultivate in a low-profile manner and ignore this matter for the time being. You will obtain a great Tao fragment, a creation spirit stone, and a chance to upgrade the Tao field. Great Tao Providence, Divine Authority? A word appeared in his mind when Hanju saw the first option. Scam! The second option caused his eyes to light up. Upgrade the Tao field. It could still level up? Hanju directly chose the second option. Nothing was more important than safety. You chose to cultivate in a low-profile manner and obtained a great Tao fragment, a creation spirit stone, and a chance to upgrade the Tao field. The Tao field has begun to upgrade. Hanju took out the creation spirit stone and fused it with one of the fiend's celestial chi. Then, he placed his attention on the great Tao Providence Divine Authority. I want to know how the Divine Authority generals will monitor the chaos? Hanju asked in his mind. It had been a long time since the system had triggered such a choice. This meant that this matter was not simple and even involved his life. 1 quadrillion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. The Great Tao Providence Divine Authority will create 10,000 Divine Authority Generals. They will check every corner of the chaos and search for dangerous elements that might threaten the chaos and eliminate them. Hanju frowned. This was not good. Do my son and I have a way to avoid the inspection of the Great Tao Providence Divine Authority? Hanju continued to ask in his mind. 1 quadrillion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. No! Hanju frowned. Even the Tao field can't avoid it? The Tao field can resist, but it cannot avoid detection. It will be treated as a danger factor and will be attacked by 10,000 Divine Authority Generals. That was good. It meant that the Divine Authority Generals would target the Tao field, but they might not be able to break in. However, the consequences would be unimaginable if this matter blew up. Hanju asked, how strong are the Divine Authority Generals? 1 quadrillion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. A Divine Authority General is equivalent to a Great Tao Sage. 10,000 Great Tao Sages? Hanju's eyes widened and he stood up. How could he block this calamity? Hanju frowned. This Great Tao Providence Divine Authority was equivalent to the immunity system of the human body? It had to be said that this power was too domineering. No force in the chaos could resist it. It would definitely be a slaughter. Any existence who faced such a force would either die or obediently wait for their inspection to end. He definitely couldn't stop it with the current strength of the Heavenly Tao. The Tao field was also in the Heavenly Tao and might endanger it. The Heavenly Tao had finally developed until now, but Hanju still didn't want to implicate it and all living beings. I want to know if the 10,000 Divine Authority Generals will act together or separately? Together. No lifespan was deducted, but the answer was the worst. When will the 10,000 Divine Authority Generals reach the Heavenly Tao? 1 quadrillion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. 12 million years. Hanju's brows suddenly relaxed. The situation was not that bad. After all, the chaos was extremely vast. How could they sweep through the entire chaos in a short period of time? But then again, won't they be able to hide everywhere if 10,000 Divine Authority Generals act together? They aren't strict enough, or do they have special methods? Hanju thought silently. He did not use the derivation function. He had already checked. He couldn't escape this disaster at all. Why waste his lifespan? Hanju adjusted his state of mind and started cultivating. He wanted to attain the Great Tao Supreme Realm before the Great Tao Providence Divine Authority attacked. Otherwise, he would not feel safe. It was not so easy for Hanju to fight 2,000 foolish sword sages alone, let alone 10,000 divine authority generals. Huang Zuntian was meditating and cultivating in a pool of water in the mysterious space. A figure appeared by the pool. Huang Zuntian, have you thought about it? The mysterious figure asked with a hoarse voice. Huang Zuntian opened his eyes and asked, "Do I have a choice?" Huang Zuntian was silent. The mysterious figure continued, "The chaos has existed for too long. The current chaos is still deathly silent. It has wasted space and everything we have now. Everything is because of those great Tao sages and great Tao divine spirits. They are afraid that all living beings will surpass them. They are afraid that they can't control the chaotic order, so they always restrict the development of the chaos. What life has to do is overturn everything and create an unprecedented new era. Can you imagine the prosperity of the heavenly Tao appearing in every corner of the chaos? That's what life pursues. Before that, all the casualties caused by the battle are worth it. You should understand." Huang Zuntian took a deep breath and asked, "Can I meet the leader?" The mysterious figure said, "Life has no leader. Every life is equal." Huang Zuntian raised his eyebrows and asked, "Someone has to give orders, right?" The mysterious figure was silent. Huang Zuntian cursed silently. "Trying to trick me? You have to show your value if you want to see Master," the mysterious figure said. "You're right. There's indeed no need for me to continue to contribute if the heavenly Tao doesn't save me. It would be best if life made me stronger. Since I've joined life, I don't want to be cannon fodder. Of course, I have to show my value if I want to obtain power and status. You're responsible for receiving me. I'll definitely remember your kindness if I soar in the future." His tone was sincere, and the mysterious figure was moved. "All right, I'll go ask first. Continue cultivating." "Thank you, fellow Taoist." The mysterious figure vanished. Heavenly Court, Numinous Palace. The evil heavenly emperor sat on the emperor's throne and flipped through the jade slip on the table. The jade slip opened and he scanned it. A large amount of information surged into his mind. These jade slips contained restrictions and contained a huge amount of information that mortals could not imagine. Black Heaven General suddenly entered the hall and cupped his fists. "Your Majesty, the 2 candidates have arrived. Do you want to see them?" The evil heavenly emperor replied, "Let them in." Only one of the 3 divine generals of the heavenly court was left ever since Han Tua and Yi Tian left. The evil heavenly emperor had already screened many heavenly generals, but he was still not satisfied. Soon, 2 figures walked into the hall and knelt in front of him. The evil heavenly emperor sized them up. He was slightly satisfied, but he still felt some regret. "I'll let you try first. I'll give you 1,000,000 heavenly troops to take down this world in 10,000 years. The evil heavenly emperor threw out a jade slip, and one of the divine generals hurriedly caught it. "Black Heaven General, bring them down." The evil heavenly emperor waved his hand. The Black Heaven General immediately accepted the order. After the 3 of them left, the evil heavenly emperor looked at the empty numinous palace and was lost in thought. He suddenly missed the scene of Yi Tian arguing in the hall. The numinous palace was too quiet without him. He was always worried when giving missions without Han Tua. No! He still had to choose the prodigy of Providence. The evil heavenly emperor's eyes flickered as his thoughts drifted to the heavenly Tao. Time passed quickly. 50,000 years passed quickly. The Tao field was finally successfully upgraded. The various Qi in the main Tao field and the second Tao field began to increase majestically. The Tao field has been upgraded. The array formation has been upgraded to the Creator Lord level. The space inside the Tao field has been expanded. Tao field immortal chi has increased by 10 times. Connate chi has increased by 10 times. The Tao field can block all prying eyes. Hanju opened his eyes and looked at the information in front of him. Creator Lord level? There was a realm above the Tao Creator? Hanju frowned. He couldn't help but ask in his mind, is there a Creator Lord in the current chaos? 9 quadrillion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. Not for the time being. Hanju heaved a sigh of relief. In that case, the ceiling of the chaos was the Tao Creator realm. In other words, from today onwards, no existence could barge into his Tao field? Hanju was overwhelmed with joy. An unprecedented sense of security surged into his heart. No! Steady! I want to know if there is anyone in the current chaos who can break through the Tao field? 1 quadrillion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. No! Can the Tao field be broken through? A quadrillion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. You can be controlled by the enemy and made to destroy the Tao field yourself. Hanju. Get latest Oval Chpters on NVE, LBJ, and CM, but it was indeed possible on second thought. Perhaps those mysterious and powerful existences could take advantage of his carelessness to control his consciousness. It was not impossible. Hanju secretly noted this down. He couldn't let his guard down even if there was an absolutely defensive Tao field. Although the Tao field had been upgraded again, it only expanded the internal space and couldn't cover the entire heavenly Tao. Otherwise, Hanju could directly protect the heavenly Tao. What a pity! No matter what, Hanju was very happy. 5 million years later, he could still hide here even if he couldn't defeat 10,000 divine authority generals. It would be fine even if he exposed his primordial fiend celestial identity. At most, I'll wait until I reach the Tao Creator realm and kill all the enemies. Hanju felt that he was already invincible. But he couldn't be arrogant. Hanju immediately started the simulation trial and challenged the 10,000 foolish sword sages. He was tortured. Hanju's eyes became clear and he became restrained after he ended the simulation trial. Thank you, foolish sword sage. The millions of disciples in the 100-peak Immortal River were very excited and overjoyed after the Tao field was successfully upgraded. I didn't expect the spirit chi in our Tao field to increase. Too exaggerated, but it's about the same. Sept Master is really powerful. The spirit chi in the Sage Tao field is probably not as dense as ours. Nonsense. Aren't we in the Sage Tao field? They knew the truth better. This meant that Hanju had another breakthrough. The black held shook inside. How high is Master's cultivation level? He can still break through constantly. Previously, he could kill a great Tao sage. We can't catch up even if we cultivate with all our might. The chaotic heavenly dog nodded desperately. The other personal disciples laughed and chatted. Sun Chang'an couldn't help but think of the personal disciples who had gone out to train. He suddenly found it funny. You guys have worked hard to explore the world. We might even have surpassed you when you return. Every time they heard Zhou Fan, Jiang Yi, and the others bragging in the myriad worlds projection, they were very envious, but they knew this. These guys only chose to talk about good things. They definitely had more bad experiences. The others rolled their eyes at him. He really knew how to brag. However, they quickly quietened down and focused on cultivating. They should work harder. On the other side, Hanju began to check his emails. He hadn't read them for a long time and didn't know how his friends were doing. Your good friend Yi Tian has learned a great Tao mystical power. His cultivation has increased greatly. Your good friend Huang Zuntian was attacked and was severely injured. Your good friend Li Daokong was attacked by a mysterious mighty figure. Your good friend Shi Dudao was attacked by a mysterious mighty figure. Your son Han Tuo was attacked by a mysterious demon, X987432. Your grand disciple Chu Shiren created 3,000 Buddhist Tao techniques. His providence has increased. Your disciple Tao Sovereign was attacked by the Magus race, X8204322. Your disciple Zhao Xinyuan. There had been fewer opportunities and more battles recently. It was normal for things to be chaotic occasionally. They could remain calm. He continued reading. Few emails were worth stopping and looking at. An email attracted him just as he was about to reach the end. Your good friend Huang Zuntian has absorbed the providence of the Calamity Life Controller and obtained a trace of the Great Tao Providence Divine Authority. The Great Tao Providence Divine Authority could be absorbed? Hanju showed a frown. From the current situation, the Great Tao Providence Divine Authority was the supreme rule of the chaos and also its foundation. Get latest Oval Chpters on NV, E, LBJ and CM. The Great Tao Providence Divine Authority would be triggered when the chaos was in danger. Didn't that mean that the chaos would be destroyed once the Great Tao Providence Divine Authority was destroyed? Hanju asked silently, will the Tao field be affected if the chaos is destroyed? No. The Tao field exists independently. His lifespan was not even deducted. It could be seen that the system was very confident. Hanju was relieved now. No wonder when he deduced the future, the existence that was seemingly himself wanted to destroy the chaos and create the primordial chaos. Perhaps one day, he would want to create the supreme primordial universe when the chaos made him tired of it. It was not impossible. Hanju had never been an absolutely kind and righteous person, let alone now. It was only because he was too weak. Hanju continued cultivating after reading the emails. This was how time passed. He had always been cultivating. 50,000 years passed in the blink of an eye. Hanju opened his eyes and prepared to go to the 33rd heaven. Heavenly Venerate Xian Du was summoning him again. He was about to stand up when a message popped up. Yang Che has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points, pure stars. What the hell? Hanju's heart tightened. He checked his interpersonal relationships and quickly found Yang Che's profile picture. Yang Che, early stage heavenly Tao sage, immeasurable emperor, disciple of the GS school. He is dissatisfied with you because sect master Tianju flattered you too much. Current hatred points, pure stars. You scared me. Hanju was unhappy that he was actually frightened by a heavenly Tao sage. He immediately moved into the Universal Hall. Heavenly Venerate Xian Du immediately sent a voice transmission to the other sages upon seeing him appear. South Extreme Heavenly Venerate, Sect Master Tianju, Emperor Shao, Heavenly Venerate Wufa, Chou Shilai, Feng Liang, Jin Shen, Pan Xian, Su Dudao, Su Qi, Li Taigu, Primordial Chaos Buddha, Zhang Guxing, Wang Hao, Ji Xianshen, Divine Might Buddha, and Yang Che all arrived. Hanju saw that Yang Che's expression was arrogant. He was a true prodigy. Yang Che bowed to him and introduced himself. On the surface, he still gave Hanju enough face. Hanju looked at the Heavenly Tao sages. Unknowingly, the sages of the Heavenly Tao were already so powerful. It was normal for a new sage to be dissatisfied with him. Hanju couldn't be bothered to bicker with Yang Che. It couldn't be helped. Sages were no different from ants in his eyes. Throwing Yang Che into the primordial heavenly prison was even a waste of his time. Heavenly Venerate Xian Du looked at Li Taigu and said, "You can speak first." Li Taigu nodded. When all the sages' gazes landed on him, he said, "Something happened in the chaos." Hanju almost rolled his eyes. Heavenly Venerate Wufa lost his temper and cursed, "What are you waiting for? Just say it." He also looked dissatisfied. Li Taigu smiled and continued, "The three pure ones of the past have reunited. Originally, the heavenly sect master escaped from the ancient desolate and was hunted down by life. Later, Laozi took action. After that, the heavenly lord of primordial beginning announced that the three pure ones would gather again and open up the three pure sacred world to create a sacred world for the cultivators of the Tao sect to avoid the great Tao immeasurable calamity. All cultivators of the Tao sect can enter. Some time ago, life attacked the three pure sacred world and returned in failure. Laozi killed 5 lives with one strike, shocking the chaos. The three pure ones are the first generation sages of the heavenly Tao. Panga's essence soul transformed into the three pure ones. They are also the personal disciples of the Tao ancestor. Where are the Tao sect cultivators in the chaos from? Naturally from our heavenly Tao. The three pure sacred world wants to poach the heavenly Tao. The human school was established by Laozi. The sages were moved. The new sages also frowned. In the past, they might have joined the three pure sacred world, but it was different now. They were already sages and the masters of the heavenly Tao. In their opinion, the actions of the three pure sacred world were offensive. Heavenly Venerate Wufa looked at Heavenly Venerate Xian Du and said, "Isn't that your teacher? Don't you know about this?" Heavenly Venerate Xian Du said, "I indeed don't know. I've actually been in contact with teacher after the heavenly Tao severed karma with the deity realm of the ruins of End. My information came from teacher's Dharma idol, but I've never been able to guess teacher's thoughts. I hereby declare that my heart will exist forever with the heavenly Tao. I will definitely draw a clear line with teacher if he wants to harm the heavenly Tao," Heavenly Venerate Xian Du said solemnly as he scanned all the sages. This sentence was also a warning to them. Ever since the great Tao sages in the deity realm of the ruins of End expressed goodwill to the heavenly Tao, the heavenly Tao had been close to their world. Perhaps someone was very close to the deity realm of the ruins of End. Su Du Dao, Li Taigu, Zhang Guxing, and the other new sages nodded. In their opinion, they couldn't be killed even if they could not defeat a great Tao sage. Why should they be afraid? Primordial Chaos Buddha smiled. How can we be bewitched by the outside world with such a powerful heavenly Tao? Looking at the new sages, they shook their heads and laughed, but they did not say anything. This was also a good thing. The more they knew, the more afraid they would be. They might even rebel. Heavenly Venerate Xian Du said, "That's right. We can accept any move if the three pure sacred world wants to target the heavenly Tao. We won't reject anyone. The current heavenly Tao is no longer the weak heavenly Tao from back then." For a time, the atmosphere in the Universal Hall eased. We can't just wait. We have to think of a way to deal with it. We should make a decision now that the chaotic life forms want to join the heavenly Tao, Pan Xian said. The current heavenly Tao had always sent cultivators out and did not recruit other living beings. It was mainly because the heavenly Tao was extremely exclusive. Without the providence and karma of the heavenly Tao, one could not enter without permission. If one forcefully entered, they would be squeezed by the providence, such as being unable to cultivate in the heavenly Tao. Fang Liang said, "Of course, the center of the chaos. We won't be caught by the enemy as long as we continue to grow." That's right. How can we let this go? I also support openness. Let them in. It's a good opportunity to open up more mortal worlds. I agree. The other sages spoke one after another. None of them retorted. It was mainly because the heavenly Tao had only risen for 1,000,000 years. The sages did not encounter any major obstacles. They were all in high spirits and were still sharp. Hanju had no objections. Thus, the matter was settled. In the end, the South Extreme Heavenly Venerate was chosen to be in charge of this matter. He would make a great wish and create a holy land that especially gave the providence of the heavenly Tao to the chaotic life forms. They had to stay in that holy land for a period of time if they wanted to fuse with the heavenly Tao. Yes, it sounded like a household registration program. The South Extreme Heavenly Venerate secretly heaved a sigh of relief. He was very excited. He had long seen the situation of the heavenly Tao. He had never submitted to Hanju and thought that the benefits wouldn't fall on him. He looked at Hanju gratefully, thinking that it was his intention. Hanju was baffled but still nodded slightly at him. The South Extreme Heavenly Venerate was even more excited, but he restrained himself very well. The other sages caught their actions. The new sages let their imagination run wild and the old sages were enlightened. The seemingly harmonious universal hall was secretly filled with excitement. Hanju didn't think too much, and there was no need to. Heavenly Venerate Xian-Du spoke of the second matter. I heard that a living being consumed the primordial pill and triggered the supreme rule of the chaos. The supreme rule will transform into 10,000 divine authority generals to monitor the entire chaos. I wonder when it will arrive at the heavenly Tao. This news has already spread in the chaos. What do you think? Emperor Shao asked. How? To enter the heavenly Tao? Heavenly Venerate Xian-Du said, of course. Most sages did not want sages or existences beyond sages to enter the heavenly Tao to prevent anything bad from happening. After discussing for an hour, the sages reached a consensus that they could not let the divine authority generals enter the heavenly Tao. Hanju laughed secretly. There are 10,000 great Tao sages, can you stop them? Hanju didn't say it directly, afraid that he would scare the sages. Heavenly Venerate Xian-Du's information was clearly flawed, but that was normal. Very few living beings knew matters that involved the great Tao Providence divine authority. There were still more than 4,000,000 years to go. Hanju could tell the heavenly Tao sages when the time came. There was no need to panic. Heavenly Venerate Xian-Du looked at him and said, the 12 ancestral magi have visited the heavenly Tao. I'm afraid they have ill intentions. At that time, fellow Taoist Han has to appear. After all, Di Jiang and Zhu Juyin are great Tao sages. The other ancestral magi are also freedom sages. 12 ancestral magi? Hanju thought for a moment and then said, all right. The new sages couldn't help but look forward to the arrival of the 12 ancestral magi. They mainly wanted to see how powerful Hanju was. In the past, the battle ended too quickly when the divine robe Taoist attacked, including the sages. They only knew that Hanju was very strong. As for how strong, they didn't have any deep sensation. Just like that, the discussion ended. Hanju stood up and left. Hanju nodded. Pan Xian probably had something on. The two of them left. Although the other sages were curious, they did not ask. In the Panga Hall, Hanju and Pan Xian sat opposite each other. Pan Xian said worriedly, I didn't want to alarm you, but I'm really indignant. My heaven-opening axe was stolen. Heaven-opening axe? Hanju showed a frown. Pan Xian's heaven-opening axe was very powerful. It had left a deep impression on Hanju back then. It was not a good thing for such a supreme treasure to fall into life's hands. Do you know who stole it? Hanju asked. Pan Xian gritted his teeth and said, it should be ancestor Shitian. Among the lives that have appeared near the chaotic heavenly road recently, ancestor Shitian is the most frequent. Furthermore, He's very strong and has the ability to directly absorb my heaven-opening axe. Ancestor Shitian? Hanju frowned even more. He felt that Ancestor Shitian was not such a person. Who stole Pan Xian's heaven-opening axe? 150 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. Because your heaven-opening axe has been upgraded to an ultimate Dao treasure, his heaven-opening axe has automatically dissipated. Ultimate Dao treasures are unique, caused by great karma. Hanju's expression became strange when he saw this line of words. So the thief is me? Pan Xian hesitated. If you're troubled, then forget it. Hanju said, the heavenly Dao owes the ancestor huge karma. Have you seen it with your own eyes, or has he admitted it? No, I'm just guessing. Hanju sighed and took out the Killing Dao token. He said, this is the Killing Dao token, a slaughter supreme treasure. You can kill enemies by sacrificing your lifespan and providence. Your words carry weight. The only flaw is that you can't kill living beings without invoking karma. I'll give it to you. I hope you can continue to protect the heavenly Dao. Hanju didn't plan to tell the truth about the heaven-opening axe. There might be future trouble if he didn't understand. The heaven-opening axe was his secret Dharma treasure. Thank you, Master. I will definitely protect the heavenly Dao even if I have to die. Pan Xian took the Killing Dao token and said excitedly. He began to kowtow. The Freedom Slaughter Supreme Treasure was a supreme treasure that was difficult to find even in the chaos. To him, a freedom sage, it was definitely enough. Hanju patted his shoulder and said earnestly, life is too mysterious. Without the confidence to overturn them, it's very difficult for the heavenly Dao to do anything to them. You have to understand this. The current heavenly Dao looks powerful, but you should know what the heavenly Dao before the calamity was like. Pan Xian nodded heavily. I understand. I won't pester life anymore. Hanju said, of course, if anyone dares to harm the heavenly Dao, kill them if you're confident. All right. Pan Xian was very excited. He touched the Killing Dao token lovingly after Hanju left. He could sense the power contained in the token. The killing intent was very strong. Perhaps it was not as domineering as the heaven-opening axe, but it was not that far off. Hanju returned to the Daoist temple in the 100-peak Immortal River and teleported to the second Dao field. He released the nurtured killing intent Fiend Celestial and let Moronchi receive him. As the Fiend Celestials became stronger, he was already looking forward to the scene of the Fiend Celestial army rampaging through the chaos. Hanju hesitated for a moment but still nodded. It was mainly because Hanju's Dao field was already invincible. He would not be afraid even if the Fiend Celestial army was exposed. With a thought, Hanju pulled the personal disciples of the second Dao field into the Myriad Worlds projection. As for the chaotic Fiend Celestials he created, he didn't let them in for the time being. He sent a voice transmission to every personal disciple in the second Dao field, strictly forbidding them from telling anyone anything about the Fiend Celestial army. They would be severely punished once they were discovered. After doing all of this, he returned to the main Dao field to cultivate. In the Myriad Worlds projection, Dao Comprehension Sword, Moronchi, Li Yao, Great Loose Heaven, Han Ming, Young Du, Guan Bubi, and the Crimson Fox appeared. The Crimson Fox, Great Loose Heaven, Han Ming, Young Du, and Guan Bubi were very curious about the Myriad Worlds projection. Fortunately, Moronchi introduced it to them. The Myriad Worlds projection was not big. It was equivalent to a dark palace, and it only provided them with information. The missing people have returned. The Black Hell Chicken suddenly shouted, startling the other personal disciples in the Myriad Worlds projection. Everyone gathered around and asked where they had gone. Murongchi and the others only said that it was arranged by Master. It was confidential and could not be disclosed. Upon hearing that it involved Hanju, the personal disciples didn't dare to ask anymore. Zhao Xinyuan walked over and said smugly, "Brothers, do you know that the three of us just broke through recently?" Murongchi asked curiously, "What realm?" "Mid-stage primordial chaos zenith heaven golden immortal realm." "So terrifying?" Murongchi exclaimed, but he wanted to laugh in his mind. "I'm already at the late-stage primordial chaos zenith heaven golden immortal realm." He wasn't the only one. The Crimson Fox and the heavenly constellation Fiend Celestial had also reached the late-stage primordial chaos zenith heaven golden immortal realm. Zhou Fan suddenly appeared and smiled. "You dare to pretend in the mid-stage? I'm already at the perfected realm." Jiang Yi snorted. "What are you pretending for? Without the Great Dao Tower, whether you can attain the Dao is another matter." Zhou Fan said proudly, "Then, why don't you have a Great Dao Tower?" "Hee hee. There's nothing good about the Great Dao Tower. It can only defend, smash people, and help with cultivation." More and more personal disciples entered the myriad worlds projection. Things became lively for a time. Fang Liang also appeared. The moment he saw Fang Liang, Murongchi immediately went up. The two of them had an extremely good relationship in the past, and it was the same now. They felt extremely close after not seeing each other for many years. They couldn't sense each other's aura in the myriad worlds projection, so they didn't know their cultivation. The brothers walked to the side and chatted. Guanbubi said proudly, "You guys should hurry up and cultivate. Don't be left behind by us." Everyone looked at him. Murongchi glared at him and sent a voice transmission, "Do you want to anger Grandmaster? This space was created by him. Your every move is in his eyes." Guanbubi was stunned. The Black Hell Chicken came over and asked, "Are you cultivating quickly by following Master?" Guanbubi muttered, "It's alright. It's equivalent to having several Great Dao Towers." He did not understand what the Great Dao Tower was, but he couldn't stand Zhou Fan's posturing. His words infuriated Zhou Fan, but he was more surprised. For a time, the personal disciples were stirred by the conversation in the myriad worlds projection. In the dark forbidden zone, a huge palm quickly moved forward. The palm faced up, and white bones could be seen at the end. The 12 ancestral magi stood on the palm with hundreds of grand magi. The ancestral magi were Hutu, Dijiang, Gomang, Zhurong, Rushu, Gonggong, Xianming, Changliang, Zhujiuyin, Tianwu, Yanzi, and Shibishi. They were formed from Panga's blood essence. Empress Hutu looked at Dijiang and asked, "Brother, are you sure Father's will is in the heavenly Tao?" Dijiang said, "That should be right." Zhurong smiled. "We can revive Father once we find his will. At that time, our Magus race will dominate the chaos. Just thinking about it makes me excited." The other ancestral magi laughed, their faces filled with anticipation for a beautiful future. Hutu said worriedly, "The current heavenly Tao is different from before. Don't act recklessly when you reach there. Although I have a relationship with Hanju, that's not enough for us to act recklessly." The latest 下划线 AP 下划线 SODIs are on 下划线 the LIBR website. Dijiang smiled. "Don't worry, I know what to do. Besides, the heavenly Tao was created by Father. We don't plan to be enemies with the heavenly Tao." Hearing this, the worry on Hutu's face eased. At this moment, a powerful aura attacked from ahead and blocked the huge palm. The 12 ancestral magi immediately became vigilant and prepared to fight. A disdainful laugh sounded as a terrifying huge face appeared in the darkness ahead, smiling sinisterly. Its pupils were hundreds of times larger than a huge palm, as if a giant was staring down at a tiny ant. Di Jiang shouted in a low voice. Who do you think you are? Do you want to block the way? The disdainful laughter sounded again. You have been suppressed by the heavenly Tao in the ancient desolate for countless years. Huta has never been able to escape the cycle of reincarnation and has been suppressed by the heavenly Tao sages. Now that she has finally established herself, do you still want to turn around and curry favor with the heavenly Tao? Don't you think it's ridiculous?